Hola clase! Today we're going to be talking about age, years, and dates. The goal of this video is to discuss how to talk about how old someone is, how to say different years, and also how to create dates. So first of all, and we of course are going to be using examples and some practice. So first of all, age, or edad in Espanol. You're going to be using tener whenever you're talking about how old someone is. Now this is a little different than when we are speaking in English, because when we're speaking in English, you're saying I am 14 years old, okay? However, in Spanish, it literally means I have 15 years. So you just have to kind of tweak the way you're thinking a little bit, and always remember that with age you are using tener. So quickly let's review the different forms of tener. Alright, yo form, tengo. Tú tienes. Él, ella, usted tiene. Nosotros tenemos. Vosotros tenéis. Y ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen. Now, a major question that goes along with age is asking how old you are. So we have here, ¿cuántos años tienes? How old are you? Okay? Then if you want to change up your question saying how old is she, for example, you could say ¿cuántos años tiene ella? Okay, so you just have to change the form of tener for your question. And then as you're responding, it's just tengo, however old you are, años. And again, that's the same setup. You just have to change the form of tener. Okay, so how would you say I am 14 years old? Well, we are talking in the yo form because I am. So what is the yo form of tener? Tengo. Yo tengo 14 años. She is 9 years old. What would be the she form of tener? Tiene. Ella tiene 9 años. They are 40 years old. What would the they form of tener be? Tienen. Ellos tienen 40 años. You are 66 years old. The you form of tener would be tú. So tú tienes 66 años. He is 35 years old. The he form of tener, tiene. So él tiene 35 años. The major thing you just have to remember when you are talking about age is that instead of thinking I am, you have to think I have. So that's the main thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, talking about years. When you say years in Spanish, it's a little different than the way we say it in English. How do you say this year that's on your screen right now? Some people may say 2012. Others may say 2012. Okay? In Spanish, you can't break up the year into smaller numbers like 2012. Okay? You have to you have to spread it out 2012. Okay? So, and again, you have to say each digit. So you have to say the thousands, hundreds, tens, etc. All right, so coming back to 2012, we have to write it out using words. So we're going to say 2012. We start off with the thousands, and since it's 2000, that's where the 2000 comes from. And then since we don't have hundreds, we don't include it. And then we have 12, which is 12. All right. 1775. Start off with our thousands. 1000. And then our hundreds. 700. 75. 1837. Start with our thousands, 1000, then our hundreds, 837. This is one of the reasons why I am encouraging you to actually learn your numbers, because when you reach trying to say years, you need to know how to say all of these numbers, and then you just mush them all together. All right, 1216. Okay, we're going to start with our thousands, 1000, our hundreds, 216. All right, 2535. Start with our thousands, 2000, then our hundreds, 535. All right, then moving on to our dates, or fechas. In English, when we are writing our dates out, it looks similar to this, August 7th, 2012. Okay? In Spanish, the dates look a little different. Okay? They flip-flop it. So in Spanish, the same date, August 7th, would look like el 7 de agosto 2012. Okay, so in order to form dates in Spanish, you start off with el, and then the day of the month, then the month, and then the year. Okay, so October 5th, 1986. All right, we're going to take the 5 and put that near the front, and we end up with el 5 de octubre 1986. Even though we are not writing our year out in words, we still have to say it the same way. Okay? All right, here's another one. July 7th, 2005. Let's take the 7, move it to the beginning, and change July over to Spanish. So we have el 7 de julio 2005. May 3rd, 2012. El 3 de mayo 2012. February 18th, 1432. El 18 de febrero 1432. March 12th, 1775. El 12 de marzo 1775. April 1st, 1901. When you are on the first of the month, okay, you're not going to say el uno de abril, okay? You're going to say el primero de abril, 1901, okay? So it's just like saying instead of the 1, like it's April 1, right? We don't say April 1, we say April 1st. So that's the same concept here. The primero is first. All right. Instead of writing the date in words, you can always write it in just numbers. Okay, so here is an example in English. We have November 18th, 1986. Okay, that's how we write it out normal. If you would want to write it out in numbers, it would just be 11/18/1986. Well, Spanish has to switch it up a little bit on you. Okay, so we have el 18 de noviembre 1986, which we just learned how to do. However, when we are using only numbers, the formula still stays the same. We have the day, then the month, and then the year. So when you see a date in class, make sure that you are paying attention to if I am writing it in English or if I am writing it in Spanish. Okay? If you have any questions about any of this, please make sure to bring them to class. Muchas gracias.